Hi, I'm Nathan Oakley and this is video log number 23. In today's video log I wanted to discuss a difference in people's perception of things, and it's a fundamental difference between knowing things and understanding things. And the key difference between understanding something and knowing something is empathy. I'll give you a little example before I give a better explanation that was used in an article by Lifehacker. But my niece asked me, while my brother-in-law and I were debating flat earth, so she was in the room while we were debating it, she's not stupid although she's very young, and at one point she piped up because she was getting frustrated. She assumed me and my brother-in-law were actually fighting, although we were debating things, and that got explained to her too. But her question was, what does understanding mean? So before she had a chance to see, I picked up a blue pen and put it behind my back, and I said, okay Kes, I'm going to give you a pen. Do you know what a pen is? And she said yes. Okay, I'm going to give you a red pen. Do you know what red is? And she said yes. So I then produced the pen and gave it to her, the blue pen, and said, here you go, here's your red pen. And she looked at it. I said, what colour is that pen? And she screwed her face up and went, red? And I went, no, it's not red. You think it's red because I've told you it's red. But after you've got the pen, you need to assess what colour it is and evaluate the evidence being what you can see with your eyes and what I have told you. At that point, you understand what colour the pen is. Now, my sister criticised me and said, look, she's 4. You're making this way too complicated for her. And to my sister's credit, she was absolutely right. Now, Lifehacker explained it. I think the example they were giving, although I won't use their example, was about somebody who'd been arrested and beaten up. And where they tied the empathy to it was understanding what that person would go through by putting yourself in their position. But the difference between understanding something and knowing something is the ability to look into it in greater depth. So if somebody tells you the sky is blue, and you go, yeah, got it, I understand, got it. You don't really understand the sky is blue as a statement, you just get the general gist when someone tells you it. So at that point you know, but you don't understand. Understanding is looking into things and looking at the flip side of an explanation one person gives you, exploring alternative theories, and more importantly than anything, judging evidence. Now, in a Google Hangout I did yesterday with Fake Spaceman in Space, he explained that cognitive dissonance is the most prevalent problem when you're trying to explain flat Earth to people, which is that when somebody knows something, they will fill in the blanks because they don't need to understand it. And cognitive dissonance, people enjoy. People like their ignorance. They don't want to look for an alternative explanation for something. Once they've looked at an idea and they've looked at plenty of other people who have the same idea, they achieve confirmation bias. They've looked for the information they were hoping for and then they've found it. Ultimately, that's false understanding. It's not really knowing something, it's not looking at alternatives, it's not looking at proof or evidence, it's just looking for the same information over and over again. I used an example on number, I think it was 22, the last video log, about the Mandela effect. People will hear this information about the Mandela effect and go and look at the Mandela effect. And then once they've seen another example of the Mandela effect, they'll look for another example, and so on and so on and so on, until eventually they know what the Mandela effect is, but really they don't understand it. So understanding something is to look for alternatives. Knowing that Mandela died in jail and has then been resurrected and brought back to life by some mysterious power of the Matrix is a farce. Whereas understanding that he was perfectly alive and well all the way up to 1990 and people wanted him out, with a passion, they wanted him released, is understanding the real truth of Mandela's imprisonment and the people's desire to have him released. Now that desire is local, it's not an American desire. Subsequently, people forget that he's even alive. Worse still, they think, oh yeah, he was probably dead. Well, the people campaigning for his release didn't think so. But looking at all of that information is what it takes to understand something like the Mandela effect. And once you can see all of that information, you then realise why you've been led astray with the globe. When you've been shown BritLab or minute physics, you know why the sky is blue. You don't need to understand. I've been Nathan Oakley. I'll see you in the next video.